You've been I heard that before.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fine. What's your name?
Broderick Davis.
How old are you?
Whew. I'm only 55.
Oh, 55. That's a wonderful age. Um, Basically, thank you for letting me interview you and
It's my
allowing me
pleasure.
to, you know, get this done in a timely fashion.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you. Thank
my
you.
questions are very simple, but yet complex. So
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm gonna go ahead and start with my first question. What community are you from, and how long did you live there?
Well, I'm actually from the Linwood Watts area.
Oh,
Linwood
cool.
Watts area. Yes, it
So
goes back and
tell
forth.
me
Linwood
about a
Watts area.
landmark in Watts.
A landmark in Watts Towers. The Watts
Watts
Towers, the
Tower.
mighty, mighty, mighty Watts Towers.
Nice. Um, do you know what year they were created or no?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Right,
Per
right.
my research, do you know who created them or no?
Uh, I think his name was Ted Watts.
No, 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 no,
Okay. All right.
no.
Can you
Okay,
edit this?
I'll go back to that. I'll go back to that.
Yeah, yeah, please. Fill in the
Okay,
blanks.
well, you can tell me about a community center in Watts if
Okay.
you want to.
Yes, the WLAC. I think I'm saying the acronyms now, but it's the Watts Community Center that's located like on 108th and Central.
Correct. So it's
Okay.
WCLAC.
Okay.
Um,
That's founded by Ted Washington. I know that.
Watkins.
Watkins. Yeah,
Close
Washington.
enough,
We
close
call
enough,
him.
close enough.
Yeah, we call him Washington, but they call him Watkins.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Uh, do you know what do they offer in the community?
Well, it's a community outreach center where the youth can go and they can spend time and productive time there. And it's like a place where they have free meals for those. Sometimes they have the free lunch program, the free meal program, and just offer lots of services within the community. Very, very useful center.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you my first question to you is
Sure.
how has their local community changed over time?
Well,
And
it's been a okay.
what I'm referring to is basically in the city, what have you seen as far as like in the fifth what I mean not the 50s, in the 60s versus the 70s versus now in 2025?
Well, well, as far as back in the day, say the '70s, it was more of a unified front. It was a lot of I'm gonna say it was like social unrest, but in that area it was very together. So when I say together, the black grip was prevalent on that community because it was somewhat quote unquote our community.
And when
It
you say
seemed
our community, are you referring to
black and brown, the black and
black and
brown.
brown? Okay.
Right, right. So it wasn't so much social like we say want to be socially accepted as far as the community. It was more like this is ours and we're going to represent it. Now it's getting more commercialized. As you can see, there's more of the condos being built up and down Central now. It's being more commercialized buildings being built in that area to sort of say I'm gonna say gentrify-ish
Okay.
type. Yeah, gentrify-ish. Not totally, but as you see what they're doing to the Jordan Downs, broke those down and made those into a more of a, I'm gonna say, visually acceptable housing, housing units instead of just projects. And I think that's what they're trying to do is they're trying to rinse the neighborhood and give it a more, when I say quote unquote, I'm saying according to the city a more appropriate look. That's what they're trying to do.
So just gentrified in general.
Yeah, yeah. When
Okay.
I say gentrify, just bring more of a wash into,
So
like you said.
is there anything that's missing from the community that was there when you were younger or when you were, in your early 20s or 30s that is no longer there? That was like a landmark place of the community where browns and blacks. gathered.
Well, there were more youth centers. I don't see as many youth centers. When I say youth center, I mean centers where the that cater to more of the younger the young ones.
Okay.
I see centers, but I don't see anything directly uh, uh, targeting the youth like they did back in the day, like after school programs and so forth. But they're things for them to do, but not so targeted like it was when I was
So what about the
coming up.
cultural aspect? Do you think it gained or has it lost anything?
Uh, the cultural aspect, like I said, I'm going to say loss because even though they are in the neighborhood, I don't see it being as as I don't see the grip on the neighborhood being as tight as it was as far as unification, unified. I don't see that. I just see everybody doing their own thing.
What
I don't
about from an
see it.
economic standpoint?
No, no, not really. No,
So it hasn't been a gain, it hasn't been
I don't.
completely a
No,
loss,
no,
or what
no,
do you
because
think?
because honestly, I see a lot of people moving away from that area. Uh, yeah, because of say like I said, the economics, not being able to survive with the economical foundation that's there. In lieu to moving somewhere like a West LA or somewhere where the economics are a little bit more fruitful. So yeah, I see it being a little bit more scarce as far as that's concerned in that area. Yeah,
Okay, so my next question is how have
like
experiences
Jordan's Cafe, stuff like that. We used to go to Jordan's Cafe, stuff like that. Not there. So
right? So I'm gonna say how have experience of discrimination or acceptance evolved from now, well, from then until now?
it's said. Repeat the question one more time.
How have experiences of discrimination or acceptance evolved from then to now
Well, experiences of the
of discrimination?
discrimination is still there. No matter how far along we get, how much we progress as a people, there's discrimination is going to be there, where there's discrimination from others or ourselves. So the discrimination, the venom of discrimination is still potent as far as the police concerned, as far as consumer wise, we're still looked at as as someone who's going to attempt something when in all reality we have no reason to do any of that. So yeah, discrimination is still prevalent in the neighborhood. Um, as far as even riding up and down the street, police profiling,
Is
stuff
it
like
still
that.
like kind of like the times of Rodney King and people?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Wow,
Whether people want to believe it or not, yes, it is. Yes, it
right.
is. Yeah,
Does that
somebody
make
just
you
got
feel
pulled. Yeah.
away, or does it like? Do you think it'll be changed eventually, or
I
do
don't
you
think
think
it's
it's
ever going to change. Okay, I don't. It's never going to change
so? Do
because
you think like this is rooted from birth, from one generation to the next generation? And do you think that the brown generation that has become law enforcement and the black generation that has become law enforcement in this day and
well, I
age,
think
do you
I
think
think
that
it's the
they put out the
mm,
same discrimination that was is bestowed on that part of the community in
yeah,
the 70s from the white community?
yes, yes. I don't think anything's changed. I think the black officer is probably the worst officer. I think the Latin officer is probably the worst officer because it's just that it seems like they're harder on their own than the white officer.
So you genuinely
So
feel like that whole area is just still oppressed in general?
yeah, it is a boiling powder cake ready to explode. I do think that because it's just like I said with the culture of that neighborhood, it's always going to be there. That
Have
culture is
you
always going to be
ever
there.
experienced any type of discrimination in that area?
Absolutely, absolutely. I've been pulled out the car, sat on the curb, car search for the light on my license plate was out. the
Hmm.
light on my license plate, the light that shines on my license plate was out, and I went to a full search with my stuff sitting on the curb for a license plate light being out. So I've been profiled. I've been profiled, racially profiled a lot, all through. Yes,
Through
absolutely,
your
one
community,
hundred percent
basically.
in the community, in
Wow.
that community, absolutely,
So let me
one
ask you
hundred
this.
percent.
What traditions have been maintained or adapted? Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. What traditions in the area of Watts in that community have been maintained or adapted? Whether they're negative or positive traditions,
Well,
what do you think?
the tradition of gangs and poverty has been definitely that flame has been lit and relit over and over again from generation to generation. Unfortunately, that tradition is going strong. That's
Wow.
one thing that you will find in Watts in that area is a gang.
So
And
is it
go ahead.
true that the gangs were actually created to police their own neighborhood versus
Absolutely, that yeah,
what they stand
absolutely.
for today?
What they were?
I said versus what they stand for today. You know, the
Oh, they were.
gangs.
Oh, back in the day, there was a community. There was a community. Yeah, they protected the community. It's almost like a watchdog type thing. Definitely was a
Right.
watchdog type thing.
Right.
But nowadays, it's just they just dogging the community now. So just like anything else, just like the Black Panthers, like you say, the Black Panthers was a beautiful outreach group. They turned into a bunch of drug fiends.
Right.
So once like I said, once they let someone infiltrate, it's over. They're not smart enough. The people they're not smart enough to police themselves. They got some black fool that worked for the police department to shoot another black dude and saying I was a Crip, and then they said, "Oh my God, the Crips did it," and it was a plant. It could be somebody got planted in the neighborhood. No one's going to investigate. They're just going to go off of face value.
So now today's gangs are that adapted from that. How are they being maintained? Is what I'm gonna ask you.
They
What is
just
what is the traditionalism about today's gangs in that area?
destruction, destruction,
So
complete
would you
destruction.
say the community went up since the early 70s, or it went down even lower as far as the poverty?
I'm going to say, uh, as far as poverty, they gained ground as far as economically, the economical ladder. There's been
Hmm.
some steps made, but as far as the mindset and some traditions, they remain the same. They remain the same. Unfortunately, they remain
Wow,
the
that's
same.
pretty sad. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna ask you one more thing. How has the relationship with other ethnic communities evolved since the 70s to now?
Well, I think there's been a better relationship with other ethnic races. But am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Ethnic communities. I see
Hmm.
more unity. I see Compton and Watts doing more. I see Linwood and blah blah, and other communities doing more. I see Long Beach and Compton holding hands and doing things. I see that. I definitely see more unity in the communities. I do see that more people are breaking down those barriers and kicking those walls down, and it's, more communities are coming together, which were once segregated. Because when I was growing up, going to Long Beach was a no-no. It was like, okay, you what? You doing what? Now, it seems like the walls have been broken down and people are floating all across the land and being more unified as far as community is concerned. Yeah. You see
Okay.
LA with Inglewood with this, you see a lot of unified neighborhoods,
So one
which is
more thing. When you mention gentrification, would you say that it's been gentrified and added more whites to the mix of brown and black? And how do they fit into the community now? Do you think it's a
well,
positive fit or a negative fit?
Well, I think it's always positive when you open up the doors and allow other races into races into your neighborhood, because that also expands the economics too. So those who you know like say I'm gonna say quote unquote whites or whatever the case may be, or whatever ethnicity that comes in, that increases the financial situation and gives more opportunities for for growth, through a monetary aspect. So I do see gentrification being a positive because just for instance, with more whites or whatever, you bring in more businesses into that that feel comfortable with doing business in your neighborhood because they see more than just black people,
Right.
or they see more than Mexican people. They see more than this. So, like I said, when you bring that extra element into your neighborhood, I'm saying that as far as white neighborhoods with black people coming in, you see more black people coming in and say, oh, okay, well, let's put this restaurant up in here. Then we have more black people in this neighborhood than we had before. Maybe this place will thrive because we have this element here.
Right.
Rather than just like I said, they never put a Starbucks in Watts when it was black.
Right.
Now you see a few white people in there, Starbucks is there because okay.
Yeah, they have at least one. They have
So that's what I'm
one,
saying.
and it, it,
That's what I'm
it
saying.
actually came from the gentrification of them
That's what I'm
and
saying because
modifications
black
of the
people
neighborhood when they tore it down and doing it
exactly
down.
right. Starbucks would never put a Starbucks there unless they saw other than black people in that neighborhood
Right.
because it would be a waste of time.
So can you tell me about one positive time that you had in Watts and
Oh,
one
just
negative time that you had in Watts?
oh shit. The positive time was being was the uniform, just being with old school, going outside, playing with my friends, just friends, just being just I trust me, I grew up when I was a kid. I was 8, 9 years old in the '70s.
Right.
So with me, it was going outside, playing the neighborhood, riding bikes, riding motorcycles, just playing outside. And when we in our neighborhood, it was our neighborhood. So as we traveled in packs, we had a great time. So we went everywhere and just riding our bikes, just going all over our neighborhood from the morning to the night and just having a great time being outside with my friends.
Right.
And the negative
Okay.
part is seeing my friends get killed
Wow.
in the neighborhood
That's
over
very
some BS and just the crimes and stuff like that. So just like I said, this is the yin to the yang. It's the glass half full and the glass half empty. You got the friends and everything like that going outside, but at the same time, the crime that was in the neighborhood was so bad, and the gang activity was really bad. So as much as we was outside, we will have to have our head on the swivel. So the crime is the negative part, the crime and stuff like that. But the positive is the friends and how unified we were as far as my guys.
Do you know anything about
And
the art in the community?
yeah, of course. Like I said, the watchtowers, the murals, everything. Just a lot. It's a lot of landmarks in Watts and Linwood and that area right there that's very significant. The streets, Alameda, just all this, just the things that we see around that we take for granted are very awful and very legendary and very important to our neighborhood and our culture.
Do you feel that
This guy, this guy.
do you feel
So,
that I need one more minute. Do you
uh,
feel that um
uh,
Watts has any great celebrities that have been out of Watts? Do you know any of them? Can you
oh,
name them?
Jesus. Yes, Tyrese.
Tyrese? Okay.
Yeah,
That's
Tyrese.
cool.
That's it. That's our guy. That's
I
the
would
one
have
who
I
made it
would have
out.
said Nipsey Hussle, because he did go to
Nipsey Hussle is
Markham.
not from Watts. He's not from
No,
Watts,
he
but
not
he's
from
from
Watts, but he
yeah.
went to
But
Markham, and part of his family did live in Watts, and his last project was community based in Watts.
yeah,
So,
but Tyrese
okay.
is from Watts.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Tyrese is
Yeah.
from Watts.
But I
He's
don't
one of
really
the
know if
guys.
he. Wait, how he from Watts? I always known him to go to Locke, and that's in South Central.
Yeah, but his high school, but he's from Watts.
Oh, okay, never knew that. Well, I
Okay.
appreciate you allowing me to interview you
Yeah,
today.
yeah, yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
so much, Rod, and you have
Absolutely.
a
No, thank you.
wonderful evening.
Let me tell you something. This conversation has been a blessing, and I hope to talk to you soon.
Okay.